Okay, April, we're down to the last 10 minutes, and I want to support you to do whatever we can do for you. Any websites, phone numbers, or how people can help you with your story. It's amazing. I believe it. All the facts fit with it, the photographic and other eyewitness reports. This whole thing just gets stranger and stranger. Classic Black Op to shoot a missile into there and say it was an aircraft and have it fly low and the doomsday aircraft above. But anything else you want to add, or any harassment you went through, or things that have developed along the way, and where you're going in the future? Just other parts of your story that need to be heard.
We're still fighting. The battle still continues. We finally, Mr. William Bill and another gentleman is interested in taking the case, but finances is always an issue. So my goal is to try to see if people who are paralegals can volunteer their time to kind of help out. If they want to help with, legal funds, I have an address where they could send, funds to. And that's it. We're going to keep fighting until the bitter end. And so I'm not going to go anywhere. And hopefully, if everybody chips in, whatever they can, because it has to be done. And unfortunately, the legal remedy will be the way to get certain pieces of document, to get to what, to come to the conclusion of this matter. And we tried everything else, and now it's going to have to be done legally.
Well, give out your address.
Okay. I'll do that.
You can dig it out, and we can give it out later if you want.
Yeah, there's I have it. Do you want it or?
Yeah, let's give that to the full audience right at the end of the show when you leave us, because right now we're just on the internet only with listeners. But when we come back, you'll have about 3 minutes. We've got folks watching and listening right now at prisonplanet.tv. But when we come back to the AM and FM audience, just nail it down. Any other stories, anything else you want people to know about, and bottom line, why you think they did it, who you think did it, where all the evidence from your in-depth research, where all of that points to. And have that address ready to give out to people right when we come out of break here in about 30 seconds. Again, listeners, we had David Icke on during the second hour today. Then we had Bob Chapman with an incredible in-depth analysis of the economy for 40 minutes in the third hour. And I walked through how they're planning to use the U.S. military against the American people. I can't believe how we just calmly report all of this now. It's just kind of like, oh, yeah, and Northcom says they're going to put combat brigades in the U.S. to, quote, deal with riots and, economic crises. And, oh, yeah, the country's bankrupt and trillions of dollars are being given to the bankers and all in our name. And, oh, yeah, it's just all getting so crazy right now, and just pray to God to help us. Here we go. Final segment, April. Final segment with April Gallup. It's also final segment of this radio show. Okay, April, any other key points you want to add? And then you've got a legal defense fund address for folks that want to try to, or not even legal defense fund, a exploratory legal fund to try to get in there and investigate what really happened at the Pentagon. People can say, oh, there's no hope, so what? Hey, all of us resisting in a million different ways, it's going to bring the New World Order down. But then and in closing, I want you to tell us exactly what you think happened on 9/11. Go ahead.
Okay. Again, for those that are following, those who haven't, it's obvious by many of the testimonies, whether it was done during the commission, there were many contradictions in testimonial statements. The official story was botched up. And you can't help but conclude that there was a large amount of negligence and an intentional act on that particular day. But again, for us to bring a conclusion to the matter, it is going to take legal action. So we now have to bring teeth to what we're trying to do and pull together strong legal teams. So if you have paralegal skills, if you know of good attorneys, please stand up, and volunteer. If everybody at the sound of my voice donated $5, that would be good. You can send it to Attention Elijah's Fund, EOISHA, S Fund, and you can put specifically legal if that's what you want it to go to. And it can go to 1100 Johnson Ferry, Ferry Road, Suite 900, Atlanta, Georgia, 30341. Or you can call 1-800-983-6223 regarding where to send any other conceivable gift. This particular fund can take any conceivable gift, but our goal is to continue in the battle. But legal action is going to be the best way to get the missing pieces of the puzzle.
Okay,
so
well,
that we can bring a conclusion to this matter.
Bottom line, you personally looking at it, is 9/11 an inside job?
I mean, when you say that, in what respect?
Well, I mean clearly the official story is a fairy tale.
Yeah, right. The official story is botched, and I do believe that there were intentional acts on that day, and I'm working very hard to bring that to a conclusion and get those missing pieces to the puzzle. And in order to do that, it would be wrong for me to make a final statement without conclusive evidence. We need to get that conclusive evidence, and the best way we can do that is through litigation.
Well, I don't think it's a bad way to do it. I don't think it's a bad way to do it, but, I mean, when you got a duck swimming around in front of you quacking in the lake, you know it's a duck, and the evidence is just unbelievably overwhelming all over 9/11.
It's blatantly obvious, it's blatantly obvious, I mean, there's nothing else to say. It's blatantly obvious, but, you know, we've got to stand up and we've got to do something. And we can't just let it die down, and we can't just keep talking about it. We have to put some teeth to
I agree. We've got to keep it moving, or they'll stage more terror attacks. It's absolutely key. And the fact that we have exposed it has probably backed them off a bunch of other attacks. April, it's been great having you on. I'm glad you and your son survived, and thank you for your courage to stand up and speak out. And we really appreciate you coming on the show today.
Thank you for your time. I appreciate it.
You bet. There she goes, Pentagon survivor April Gallup. And what an incredible radio show today. Woo! David Icke coming up right after the break. The show continues. It never ends. We'll be back in 1 minute. Unfortunately, not on our wonderful AM and FM affiliates, Global Shortwave or Satellite, but we will be at one place on the Infowars.com streams. Those are different than any other streams on the web carrying the show, because on other streams, it's just for those 4 hours. On Infowars.com, you'll hear David Icke coming up with some amazing new info, Bob Chapman, and in the first part of the show, first 30 minutes, I break down the U.S. Army invading the U.S., not just a drill, the total end of posse comitatus, absolute high treason against the government and the people committed by the New World Order. That is coming up in T-minus 70 seconds at one place, absolutely vital. Please join us there. We'll be right back at Infowars.com. God bless you all.